What's up, Dave?
How have you been?
Hanging in there, hanging in there.
Yeah. Hello everyone. Welcome back to the LAFC Central Show live here with today's guest, Gio Murillo. Gio, why don't you introduce yourself to everyone those who may not know what you do?
Hey guys, my name's Gio. I'm the turf and grouse manager here at LAFC, Bank of Stadium, and the practice facility as well.
All right. So, how long have you been working with the club? You've been there since the beginning, right?
Yeah. I started December 1st, 2017.
So you were there before they even put in the grass, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. It was a lot of hard work trying to come up with just the tools that we need, the equipment, uh, the people that we need working for us. So between that span, actually, it was 2 months that I had that time frame to build up.
So you were the only person who was there working with the grass, right, at that time?
Yeah, well, there was no grass, so I brought all my crew in before we started sodding, because that's a big it's a big production.
All right, I've seen the photos of it going in. I don't have it even on me right now, but it's just an insane process.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
you joined LAFC in 2017. What were you doing before that? Where were you working?
Uh,
How long have you been involved with this?
Dude, I've been in the industry, MLS specific, for about 10 years. Started in '07 with our folks across the street at StubHub Center. Started as an intern. Well, actually, intern part-time. Once I graduated Cal Poly SLO, went up to a foreman. And then, interesting story that one of the assistant GMs, or our old head groundskeeper, called me up out of the blue and said, "Hey, you're not going anywhere here." I was like, "Oh, really? Like, what do you mean, dude?" He's like, "Yeah, there's no room for improvement for you. You gotta go out, venture out." So he shipped me out to Oklahoma State.
So they already had how many people they already have working there?
Oh, they had a quite a big crew, but there's no room for improvement for me as a young, for my career.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, well, I guess I'm going to Oklahoma State.
And then how long were you with Oklahoma State, and what all did you work on there?
So I was there for exactly 1 year, June 1st, 2014, June 1st, 2015. And we took care of the baseball field, LEP, the football field for the Pokes, softball, track, and women's soccer for the Big 12.
You must have a much larger crew there compared to LAFC and other stadiums.
Actually, there it was it was 4 or 5 full timers, and the rest was student workers.
Oh, that's nice. So you got to work with all the students and teach them?
Kind of, but because they all had different majors, they just wanted jobs to get extra, pretty much beer money. And we're just like, "Hey, dude, just help us out with this and that," and they actually did a really good job. And then from there, I went back 2015 to Oklahoma, to StubHub Center, and I was one of the assistants.
All right.
So I was gradually trying to move my way up there.
Yeah. So then bringing it back to LAFC, you start, like, it's a brand new club. You come in, there's no grass. You start planting planting the roots of the club. When did you, or how were you guys working before the team even played there, without knowing how the field's going to run? Or do you guys have people coming in testing it, or?
So I would go out to our sod farm for American Sod Evergreen turf down in San Diego. I would scope it out, check it out. The height of cut, is it thatchy? Is it long, short, whatnot? Just until just prepping it up for when we had to transplant it from Escondido back to. First, we did the practice field, and then we did the stadium field. On February 21, 22, we did the practice field. 23, 24, we did the stadium field.
All right. And if you have a question, there's the question box open. We'll try to answer as many as we can. Okay. So you come to a new club. You also work at the training facility that came later, correct?
That came first, but I have our foreman Gage out there, and maybe once, twice a week I try to go out there if we're not that busy here. I trust him very much. So go out there, check, see how things are going, make sure everything's fine. And and then just if he has any questions, he comes to me and we'll figure it out.
All right, so you have a crew of the 3 people right up there, actually. How
Yeah.
how's it been working with them? How do you guys split up all the work that you do?
So Gage is the one on the far left is mostly at the training field, and then I have another guy, Eddie, who's full time, who's with me here at the stadium, and then we have part timer Osvaldo, who's normally time spent is here at the stadium.
Mm-hmm.
So but whenever we do, Gage needs help at the practice field, we'll head up there. We kind of plan it accordingly. So we're on the same page.
Yeah, talking about planning everything, how many days of the week are you there? How are you switching around from everything, and how much work actually goes into this? How much time?
During normal circumstances, it's pretty tough. We have short windows to bring the field back into shape because obviously, we have the games once a week. If we have a 2-week window, we're going to try to fit as many events as we can on the field. And then those events are gone, and now we got to bring it back for our first team.
Yeah. But do you think it's more difficult to maintain the main field at the stadium or the one at the practice facility? Because I'm guessing the one at the practice facility is being used more often by the team.
I think they're both up there, dude. Because the wear and tear that a concert does to the stadium field, it's just as much, if not, it's just as much as practicing every day for an hour and a half. Mm-hmm. It just needs the time for recovery. Luckily, our coaches are awesome, and they understand we have one field out there, and it's like they work in quadrants. Just so if they're in this quadrant over here,
we can be working somewhere
on Tuesday. It's revolving. So by the time they come back to that quadrant, it's recovered.
Yeah. So you guys, so concerts come into the bank. Other events, we did have a lot of concerts come in. You guys actually replaced the grass over the off season. How? Because you guys don't have that much time. All right. So you guys replaced the grass because you guys didn't have that much of a time span to work on it over the off season. How do you guys work with that and try to do it in a timely manner?
Actually, I really believe that's the toughest part of my job too, where scheduling, and making sure everything goes according to plan. Obviously, some things don't, but I'm just, with my experience, I have a good grasp of how things should and will run.
So how
timing is everything.
Yeah. So how long do you guys work? Because I believe this was the first time that you guys had actually replaced the field at the stadium since it had been brought in originally, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So that's a proud moment, proud moment.
Yeah. So how do you guys work with taking the field off and bringing in a new one?
So this time we tried something different, something that I've never done before. We corroded it. We had a big machine that kind of cuts it up, shoots in a conveyor belt that goes into trays, and we just haul it off into the broadcast pad here. And we just do that 2 times, so we get and they do this a lot in Europe, where it just takes off that sod layer, which is half an inch, and then the field is still smooth. So what we do is add more sand, USGA spec sand, which helps for drainage. And then we grade the whole field and put the sand back in and put the sod back in.
Yeah, I knew, because I was actually at the stadium, I believe, while you guys were doing that. I was walking to free play, and I just saw this big lump of dirt sitting next to me. I was like, I think that's the stadium grass that they just took out.
Yeah. It was damaged by our good friends from Rolling Loud and what the Rick and Morty. Cartoon Network.
Yeah. So, because we've also seen, I believe last year there was a big concert here in the middle. Actually, in 2018, in the middle of the season, we had a game a few days later. How do you guys deal with recovering the field in such a short amount of time?
Sometimes we use green paint. That helps. But it's just working around it. we try to minimize the compaction on the field, like forklifts or pro gators or gators or anything like that. Whatever we can do to minimize the impact on the field, we'll do it. If we have to carry a 6x4 sheet down 10, 15 yards, we'll do it, because the end result is it'll recover a lot faster than if you have continuous gators
machinery moving across.
going
Yeah.
over it.
Yeah, so talking about the machinery, I've seen you guys use several carts, several smaller things. Can you tell us a little bit about what you guys, like how much you're dealing with on a game day and what's in your criteria of using?
Yeah, so machines, I don't want to brag, but it's a big connection. It's a bit networking that we have with STMA, Sports Management Association, we're really good friends with the head groundskeeper from Real Madrid. If I have anything going on, I'll call him, or, my brother that works for StubHub Center, I'll call him as well. It's just no matter what team we represent, in the end, we're all the same team because we're all sports turf managers. So what I try to do at the stadium, I try to emulate the same as in Europe. We mow the stadium field. When we mow, we're walking it. Because if we have other equipment, you have your tire marks, we have hydraulic.
Yeah.
We have a hydraulic leak for those who play golf. Sometimes you see it on the greens. I just try to minimize that. And the machines we use, I personally think that it just gives a better cut.
Yeah. So bringing it back to day of game, what is your procedure? You come into the stadium. What is your first things that you do before to prep for game day?
So we do all the painting the day before. So pretty much what we do the game of, we mow it, we set up the goals, we walk the field one more time for any imperfections, and wait for, say, if it's 7:30 game, wait at 5:30 for the referees to come walk the field and just give us the blessing that it's good, and we take a lunch and come back at 6:30 to water the field before warm-ups.
So you guys water it before warm-ups. When else do you water it during
before
a
warm-ups,
span of?
Before warm-ups, before kickoff, during halftime.
All right. And then post-game, how do you deal with getting it back into shape?
Post-game, I'm a little bit different than other clubs. We just take out the goals, remove the flags, fix any big divots that we have to, and then we call it a day and turn on the water. Because just like the players, the field went through hell.
Yeah.
And I just need a drink of water, and then we'll come back Monday and fix it up and ready for Saturday.
Yeah. So actually, I have a question about the last game of last season where we saw the Sounders lift the trophy. They had so much confetti on the field. I saw after you and your crew with a bunch of blowers. How do you do
We
that?
really have to talk about that? That sucked, dude. Sorry. With that confetti. This goes back to my previous years at across the street. It wasn't that bad. Had backpack blowers, put it on a circle, put it in trash bags, and take it out. Because across the street, they have a lot of confetti.
Yeah,
so
I've seen they do a lot of fireworks, confetti, a lot of stuff on the field.
Yes.
So how do you, because have you been around to other stadiums, do sometimes travel, experience different, and how do you think the bank compares to it?
Unfortunately, I haven't been able to do that. The industry that we're in, since we work at the stadium, is on a weekend, we have a concert, we have a commercial shoot, we have things going on to bring in more revenue to the stadium, to the team. So the only time if we don't have anything going on, luckily I've been to 2 or 3 games of ours down to StubHub. But we're constantly working here. Everybody, the operations crew.
Yeah, I bet a lot of work goes into it that people don't necessarily see, because a lot of the work that you guys do is behind the scenes alongside a lot of the other people at the stadium. What is your guys' plan, and how does it change based on weather for non-game days, and how are you guys making sure this field stays in shape?
For non-game days, say if I have 2 weeks, like completely nothing on, we'll pull cores. We'll pull cores on the field. They're like quarter inch. Take those off, and then add in new like 25 tons of sand, of USGA sand, onto the field, because that's going to help with footing, with drainage, with percolation, with everything. But it's not like I could throw out 25 tons of sand and then a week later have a game, because I'm not sure if you guys ever seen NFL games where the guys are tackling it and then you see the stripe of sand come up.
Uh-huh.
Like I personally don't want that. The players don't like that, so I try to time it kind of fairly well to where we do top dress, and when they come and play, it feels like we've done nothing to the field, but it still plays well.
Yeah, speaking about the NFL, I know a lot of teams in that league that use turf. What do you think? How do you think turf compares to real grass, and what are some benefits of using either?
I like turf, for instance, high school, since they don't have the budget to maintain a field, because you have track, football, band.
Mm-hmm.
Band kills it.
Yeah.
But the bad thing is just like there's no give.
Mm-hmm.
For real grass, there's give, and there's less. You'll get hurt a lot.
Yeah.
Gravity of getting injured is a lot less than a turf field.
As a goalkeeper, I have a lot of troubles with turf, but it's interesting.
Rubbers in your eye and all that.
Yeah.
Stuff.
Yeah. So I have a lot of people asking the question ahead of this. How do you guys do the patterns on the field, and how do you choose those, and how do you switch around from those?
I'm very traditionalist. I like my east, west, north, south. It's again going back to our buddies across the pond. It's easy. We have Bermuda overseeded with rye. The rye is a little bit shinier. Like if you get a rye, on one side is shiny, the other side's dull. So when you mow it this way, you see the shiny part, and when it's coming at you the other way, you see the darker part.
Uh-huh.
So we just go the same direction for 6 yards, and then the other direction every 6 yards.
Mm-hmm. How is that? Because I know a lot of teams do that. Is there any benefit to it for the players? I know I also ref sometimes as a benefit. I love being able for offside benefit. Is it a benefit for you guys, or?
For a person, like whatever. I don't. It's easier for us because it's like 6-6-6-6 instead of.
You guys actually have a pattern. Yeah.
Yeah, we actually do measure it out, and use string whenever we mow. We use a string just to be that precise. The weird thing about the patterns is that you have to mix it up. As in, if I go east-west one day, I have to go north-south the other way, and then diagonal, because you'll see the ball snake.
Huh.
I'm not a big fan of that. So we switch it up constantly so the ball won't snake. And it's like when you give a pass to the other diagonal, it's a straight pass, and it's not like curvy because of the mow pattern, the way the grass is shifted.
Yeah, so does the grass have, depending on what you do, does it have much effect on the field of play? Because I know you guys keep the grass really short, and so do other stadiums around. How short do you guys keep it?
Between February and March, April, May, that's like close to 5/8, a little bit taller because of the cool season, which is the ryegrass. Yeah. And then once it hits summertime, between just a little bit above like 400, 450, 450 compared to 500 is half an inch. So we keep it a little bit below half an inch.
And that's based on the weather, how much sun it's going to get.
And the consistency. Our main goal is consistency. So the players
don't feel a big change.
Yeah. And the ball plays true, just like a home field advantage. You don't want your home field changing drastically and be like, oh, crap, last week it was running slow, but this week it's running a lot faster, so you got to adjust. We try to be consistent.
Because I know, do you believe that you're really lucky to work in Los Angeles with the type of weather that you have? And have you had any experience elsewhere with bad weather, and have you dealt with that?
Yes and no. Yes, the weather is fantastic, but if you see on that picture, our biggest headache is the shadows.
Ooh.
So that's where we're trying to get. We have grow lights, which helps. So with grow lights, you've seen all around the world. Every single football, soccer team has it. So our biggest challenge is that guy right there, the shadows.
So you guys bring in glow lights for just that section of the field, or how do you guys space that out?
So now we had it at StubHub, but now I'm more hands-on on it. So I'm learning how to manipulate the light. And this is the second week we're using them. This would be the third week. So now I'm studying the graphs of the year-long graphs of the shade. So maybe this time I'll put them on right there, the west side for 2 or 3 days. And then I'll move them over to the south side or west side, wherever there's lack of light. Because obviously the plant needs light.
Yeah, and you said about doing stuff recently. We've had this whole quarantine, which has been all over the news. Everyone has been stuck. You guys have been playing on the field. How's that affected your guys' work, and how has it been beneficial or made it harder?
It made it great on our field because we're able to do a little bit more stuff. But dude, it just sucks. I want the players to be on the field. I want the fans out there. I want the atmosphere. Like, that's what we thrive on. That's what we love as a groundskeeper, showcasing our field to the world, good or bad. Just that's our field. That's our pride. So it's tough. Like, I want the fans back. It's
But have you had any benefits of it? Maybe having more time to study the field, as you were mentioning, or?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Getting to use the grow lights that we have right outside my office, and it's just getting stronger and better. But it's ready to be used, dude. It's ready.
You say you're at your office right now, right?
Yeah.
So you're how long a day are you there?
Non-quarantine, maybe 10.5 to 11 hours a day. With quarantine, we've been coming in Monday, Wednesday, Friday, just doing what we can. Mow, spray fertilizer, spread fertilizer, do what we can on the field to make it better in a short amount of time. But now we're kind of back to a 40-hour week, just trying to push that Bermuda. So when we do come back, the recovery rate of the field is a lot stronger.
Yeah, is it so you guys are very cautious about who goes on the field and what goes on the field, you were mentioning earlier. I did promise on Twitter that we would share this story.
Yeah.
Have you ever tackled any pitch invaders?
Yeah. Back in 2010 when we had rugby, I think it was Samoa playing whoever. A couple people got on the field and I tackled one person, got him down, got security, they took him away. It was awesome, dude. It was great. It was so dope.
That best moment of your career?
Dude, it was pinkies up and I grabbed them, so it was good.
Speaking of best moments of your career, have you had any really proud moments at the stadium, like maybe watching it during the game for one of the first times, or?
To be honest, and I've never shared this story before, the best moment of my life / career was when our old GM offered me the job. We walked onto the field, no grass, gravel, bunch of cranes everywhere. He's off. This could be yours. You have an hour to let me know. I'm driving home, live in Long Beach. As soon as I parked, called him. Yes, I want it. It's something that I worked hard for. Something that you dreamed of. I honestly thought I was going to just be in Oklahoma for a long time. Not a lot of natural grass fields, stadiums are built in LA. And this came up, and you know what? I'm really happy I took it. I've grown as a person and grown as just in my career. It was awesome. Best decision he helped me with.
Yeah. So, saying working at the bank has been amazing. How do you think it compares to maybe working at the stuff of working at other places, being able to actually lead what's happening and being at full control?
It's very different and it's very stressful. And I got a lot of gray hairs for the past 2.5 years. So
Yeah.
luckily I haven't lost it yet, but there's a couple of grays up there.
Yeah.
It's just a different way of looking at things when you're the head guy. Because in the end, if it hits the fan, it's not on your employees, it's on you. So I gotta watch out what we do, how we do it, why we do it, and just kind of teach the guys that we have why we do it a certain way that I like to do it.
All right. Well, that's pretty much all I have. Anything else you'd like to add to that? Anything we might want to put on the record?
Dude, I just miss all you guys. And, when we're watering the field, shit out, say what's up, we'll wave back. We're just humble groundskeepers doing what we love.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's been this week's episode of the LAFC Central Show. Thank you so much for joining me this week.
Dude, thanks for having me. Thank you very much. Really appreciate it.
Yeah. Love having people on here tell their stories. All right. Thanks. See ya.
All right, brother.
What's up, everyone? Thank you so much for watching this week's episode of the LAFC Central Show. Next week on the show, we have my good friend Cheyenne joining me as we talk about MLS is back. So that'll be next week. Make sure to tune in on IG Live. That'll be Monday the 22nd at 7:30. We'll see you then. Till now, make sure you're subscribed or following on all our social channels. We have lots of content coming out. The hype train is on for MLS to return. See you then.
LAFC.